You remember the violent G20 riots in Pittsburgh? Well, authorities are bracing for a similar scene in Chicago this weekend. The North American Treaty Organization summit is nearing, and protesters are already filling the city's streets. Busloads more coming in tonight. Offices urging workers to swap their suits for casual clothes, preferably hoodies. No, they didn't say that. So they won't become targets. Banks closing down out of fear for customers and their own safety. Michelle Malkin wondering why the Tea Partiers are dubbed extremists. Michelle, that's an excellent point. But it is what it is, and this could get nasty, huh?
Well, it does raise this question, and I think we all know the answer, of when the last time a Tea Party event required thousands of riot police to guard against violence and anarchy. It's never happened, and that's why it still irks me that there are supposedly good faith people out there that make these moral equivalences between the Tea Party protesters and this increasingly violent and anarchic Occupy movement. The Occupy people will be there in Chicago. They've been gearing up for this pretty much all year. And there is a blurred line, Neil, between the people who pose as mainstream peace-loving occupiers and these black bloc types who are professional agitators and who have caused in the past, over the last several years, millions of dollars worth of property destruction and damage in the name of protesting global injustice and, of course, protesting capitalism itself.
Well, you know, I've been to some of these events where the WTO meets, or you have the IMF global meeting, or you have G8 ministers meeting, and it's always a cause for protesters and always an opportunity. But it seems to have gotten much more heightened of late, and in this case, worrisomely so for Chicago. Any action against them is going to be treated disproportionately in the press. Is that justified?
Yeah, and it's a toxic cauldron because you have certain basic elements, necessary ingredients for these leftist protests. People who are there to antagonize police officers. And after every single one of these WTO riots, I think the most prominent in my mind was the 1999 WTO riot in Seattle,
right,
where the city was completely unprepared. And that's what I worry about here, too, in Chicago. And I understand that they're going to be importing extra law enforcement from other nearby cities, Milwaukee, Philadelphia. They'll all be coming in. But the stance is always a defensive one. They know that the media and the leftists and the progressives are going to always put the blame on them, and it's taxpayers and business owners, of course, who are going to end up with the bill for all of this. I think the demagoguery and the class warfare rhetoric has never been called out, particularly by this administration.
It'll be nasty.
And
we'll watch.
Somebody's got to question that.
I'm sorry to jump on you, kiddo. But thank you very much. In the meantime, we're watching Facebook, too. Dave Ramsey's worried about all the hoopla after this.